All right, you've probably seen the news by now, but the biggest boxing fight in recent history, certainly the biggest on paper since 1999, between two undefeated champions of the world is off. The fight is cancelled. Oleksandr Usyk taking on Tyson Fury to unify all the belts is off. It's postponed anyway for now. Just 2 weeks before the fight, okay? 2 weeks before and just 2 days after that cinematic masterpiece of a trailer dropped. The production values on that trailer were phenomenal, and it just shows the commitment to this sport that they're making in Saudi Arabia. That must have cost millions of dollars. I'll say 5 million as a rough guess. The production value, the costumes, the CGI, right? The production of that was phenomenal, but never mind that. The fight was going to be even better, okay? And right now, for the foreseeable future, that fight is not happening. Listen, when you're training for a fight like that, you've got to spar. That is how you get ready. You're going to get good at tennis, you play tennis. Golf, play golf. If you're going to box, you've got to spar. You've got to get ready. And 2 weeks out, there is no problem in that whatsoever. But there is a problem when your sparring partner is connecting with goddamn elbows. Although I don't think it was on purpose. Now, we're going to have a look at the footage here. And as soon as it starts, Tyson gets caught with a shot and he's like, I'm cut, I'm cut. And then someone in the back was like, who's cut? Let's have a look here. He's like, who's caught? You can hear in the background there, pissed off. But when you look at the footage here, it looks like a left hook that his opponent's trying to throw. And there it is in the freeze frame. You can see it's the point of the elbow, which connects right on the eye. Now, immediately after, Tyson says, I'm cut. They're all freaking out. Tyson walks off. He kind of rubs his eye, and then he rubs it again, right in the exact same spot. He's got white gloves on and you don't see any blood, but he knew he was cut instinctively, okay? And you can't really see because it looks like it's filmed in the 1970s. The footage isn't the best. So there might be a bit of blood on the glove, but that cut, that now we see it in all its glory. It's a big 1.5-inch size cut. That would have bled like crazy, okay? Now the sparring partner is a smaller guy. Smaller guy, so obviously brought him in to replicate the style of Oleksandr Usyk. Smaller, faster, and just a different style, right? I don't think he did it on purpose. He threw a little left hook in the pocket, kind of missed, and then the elbow followed up and connected. Just like KSI did when he knocked that guy out. Of course, everyone's pissed off. There's a lot of money. Everyone's excited for this, but the time, energy, effort, dedication from both fighters in this one has been second to none. So, of course, Tyson Fury's come out and made a statement, and he said, I am absolutely devastated after preparing for this fight for so long and being in such superb condition. I feel bad for everybody involved in this huge event, and I will work diligently towards the rescheduled date once the eye has healed. I can only apologise to everyone affected, including my own team, Team Usyk, the undercard fighters, partners and fans, as well as our hosts and my friends in Saudi Arabia. So all class there from Tyson Fury. And as I say, it's not his fault. These things just happen. Big fights get cancelled or postponed all the time. And yeah, it sucks. We're all pissed off. We all wanted to see it. And we will still get to see it. Probably. We'll get to that in just a second. But Tyson, listen, you know what he's like, right? If the shoe was on the other foot, if it was Usyk that would have pulled out, right, he would be calling him every name under the sun. You stupid little sausage. You're pulling out. No man alive should be getting elbowed in the face.
Sick of people like you haters all the time talking bullshit about me. And now, when I come and confront you, you're a shithouse, just like David A. You've got nothing to say, you little bitch. Now, this is what happens when you get little pussies like this talking about a man like me.
I'm sorry. I like it, Tyson. I like it.
Because he came out and he said, listen, I can't help getting injured in sparring, but what I can say, Usyk is in trouble. And what he's talking about there, because he's standing, he's looking very lean, in way better condition physically, according to the eye test, which doesn't mean everything. It's not foolproof, right? But on paper, on the picture, he looks to be in way better shape. So that means he's been training. That means he's been dedicated, following a tough regime, eating the correct foods, going to bed early and just getting ready for this monumentous event, okay? He looked in good shape for Tyson Fury. He's not going to win any bodybuilding contest, but compared to the Tyson Fury that showed up against Francis Ngannou, looks to be way better nick, okay? And the nick on the eye, it's not a nick. That's a deep cut. That's going to require at least 3-4 weeks of no contact whatsoever. So fighting in 2 weeks was never going to happen. The eye could close a little bit in 2 weeks, but it would have to be 2 weeks of no contact whatsoever. And then as soon as the fight starts, the first punch to that eye and that cut will open up, and then that's it. The fight's off. And then Tyson's lost all of the titles, and he's lost to Oleksandr Usyk, and he's lost the possibility of being the greatest boxer of his generation and possibly one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. So he did the right thing. And trust me, I'm talking from experience. The first time I fought Luke Rockhold in Sydney, Australia, I got kneed in the head of a training partner. We were on the ground. I was going for a Kimura. I got kneed in the head by accident. Opened up a huge cut, okay? I flew out to Australia, and Rockhold was even talking about the stitches in my eye, above my left eye here. And then I was walking into the arena that day. And as I'm walking in, and as you probably know, I had a bad eye that I was keeping very, very quiet back in the day. I'm walking in, and the UFC official said, "The doctor needs to see you." I'm like, "Why does the doctor need to see me?" They said, "Something about your eye." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm rumbled, it's over." And so I go into a room, and there's a doctor waiting for me. We'll get back to Tyson in a minute. I go into a room, there's a doctor waiting for me. And I said, "What's up?" He says, "Oh, mate, you can't fight with bloody stitches." And he just pulls the stitches out there. And then I'm like, "Oh, thank God, I dodged another bullet." And then in the fight, me and Rockhold, we clash heads in the first round, and the cut opened up straight away. He kicked me in the head though as well, but I was blind because of that cut. Anyway, back to the fight, back to Usyk. I'm just giving you a little anecdote there of why he did the right thing pulling out of this fight. But according to Oleksandr Usyk, he says, "Wishing you the soonest recovery. God sent you a sign. Think of retirement, brother." Okay? And if you say it like Usyk, it would be, "Wishing you the soonest recovery. I feel.
I'm very feel.
God sent you a sign. Think of retirement, brother." That's actually his manager that said that. And I didn't know that Borat was Usyk's manager. So I apologize for that bad impression. Now, what's the talk now? What happened? So the reality of the situation now is that either they postpone the fight or they bring in a replacement. And the replacement is potentially going to be Filip Hrgovic, fighting out of Croatia, a man that is undefeated, 17-0, and he is the IBF mandatory challenger, okay? So he wants the shot. He said that now that Fury has gotten injured, I am ready to step in and fight Usyk. Let's go, Usyk. You owe me my mandatory shot. It's time to finally face me. So there's two options there. Now, you never know, because this fight card was all about the main event, and it does suck for all the undercard fighters. If it doesn't go ahead as preceded in 2 weeks, all the other undercard fighters, as well as Oleksandr Usyk, they're going to have to slow down and they're going to have to get ready for another date. Apparently, they're talking about June, I saw online. And talking of online, all the haters have come out. They're all talking shit. They're all initially saying, "Oh, Tyson's pulled out. Tyson's bottled it. Tyson's using any excuse to avoid Oleksandr Usyk," right? I just looked at Twitter before, and there's everyone talking a bit of shit, right? The reality is, this is legitimate, okay? It's just a sad state of affairs that when you're getting ready for a fight, injuries happen like that. And when you see the cut on the eye, right, you know you can't box with that. I'm not going to say it. No man alive should be boxing with that. And they shouldn't, right? It's just a shame. It's just a goddamn shame. Now, the thing is, if Usyk stays on the card and fights Filip Hrgovic, and I'm sure he would do, I'm sure he's not going to duck him. I'm sure, listen, both men are undefeated, and I'm sure it would be a tough fight. Hrgovic's 6'3", tough guy, lots of knockouts on his record. But Oleksandr Usyk's the man, right? More than likely he would beat him, and then he could go on to face Tyson Fury. But that's a big risk. That is a big risk. So we don't know what we're going to do there. If I'm managing Oleksandr Usyk, I say, you just sit tight. You just sit tight and wait. It's kind of like Stipe Miocic being offered to fight Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall came out recently and said, "Listen, UFC offered me Stipe. I accepted. Stipe turned it down." Well, if I was managing Stipe or if I was managing Usyk, I'd say the same thing. You wait. Why would you fight Tom Aspinall, who is the interim champion, when you can fight John Jones, right? No disrespect to Tom, who's a bigger deal, who's on the verge of retirement, who's the GOAT, who's the undisputed champion. Just wait a few months. It's the same thing here for Usyk. Why would you fight Filip Hrgovic? Okay, yeah, you'll stay active, you'll stay busy, you'll get another win, you'll get another payday, but there's a gigantic, monumental, life-changing payday, and also the legacy of it as well. So the fight is not happening, okay? I'm devastated. I really am. You know, I feel for Tyson. I really do. It's a shame. I've been there. I've never had to pull out, but in the past, I should have done. So Tyson is doing the right thing. He's doing the smart thing. He's thinking with his brain and not his heart, okay? So there it is. It remains to be seen what will happen next. But more than likely, my prediction is that this fight gets postponed and we see it maybe in April, May, or June. It's a shame. It is, but as I say, this is combat sports and this stuff happens. Oh well. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're still here, subscribe and ring the bell. I'll see you soon.